Hi guys, I'm Arjan Polat. I'm a senior Sitecore developer and I'm going to teach or show how to install Sitecore Experience Acclerator 1.9 and it will utilize Sitecore 9.2 and as short this module calls like SXA, Sitecore Experience Acclerator. So in this video, this is overview of this video or tutorial. We will go over a few resources. We will install PowerShell 5.0 for Sitecore version 9.2. We install then Sitecore SXA 1.9. We create the Solar indexes for SXA. There are two of them. And then we will verify the installation. So all the resources will be available under this video. So let's go first documentation. This is a Sitecore Experience Acclerator 1.9 and a main documentation site. You can find all the downloads for different versions and different servers. Like if you want to download CD 9.2, if you have to download for Azure App Services, release information, we will use installation guide. And I will come back just in a second to this documentation. But here is a main documentation. If you want to really learn everything, it looks like really comprehensive. I couldn't pronounce this anyways. So it's very nice documentation. You can read about how to extend best practices and anything related to usage of SXA. Okay. And here is another Sitecore Experience Acclerator compatibility table. And I skipped the first one because we don't use Sitecore 8. Here we have I have a Sitecore XP 9.2 and it's compatible with SXA 1.9. Okay, and PowerShell extensions, we will need PowerShell 5.0 for XP 9.2. Okay, as you see. So here is the documentation, installation documentation, and actually it's just a few pages. Okay, so this is Sitecore 9.2 dev instance that I installed, and here you can see we have a SXA example. But I'm going to install the SXA on the Habitat dev local instance. This is a Sitecore 9.2 Habitat 1.8 example, and I never tried, so it should work on this as well. And this is the Solar that this Habitat version is using, and as you can see, right now we don't have any SXA indexes, and we have to create two indexes. Okay, so let's go back to our main documentation. We are going to use a Sitecore Experience Acclerator for 9.2 package, and we are going to use this Sitecore PowerShell extension 5.0 for Sitecore 9.2. And both installations will be very simple because both are installed like a regular Sitecore package. Let me show. I already downloaded this to this location. Okay, and let's start with PowerShell. And one more thing, let me verify the PowerShell. This is a dev version, so you can see that PowerShell is installed here. There are two menu items that you can see here, or you can go to reporting PowerShell, and if you go to Habitat, we will not see any PowerShell installation. Okay, so let's start. So it's very simple, like a regular module. Installation wizard, upload package, and PowerShell extension. Next, upload, close, and you can see it's already selected the uploaded file, and we see next. Next, you can see the information. Reads Adam and Michael West are the author. Install, and this should take a few minutes to install. I'm going to stop the video and I will come back after the installation. And right now it's 12:13. So it took 1 minute. It's very quick. Close, restart, and now you can see PowerShell is installed, and we can verify here as well. Okay, so next step is to install SXA. So this is the version, Sitecore Experience Acclerator 1.9.0, and you can see it's requires Sitecore 9.2, and also you can install this version to Sitecore 9.1. Let me verify the update. Yeah, actually we can see this here. If I let me start installation, accept, next. Okay, so let's see. This was, you can see that SXA 1.9 we can install on XP 9.1 update 1. Any installation, I really highly recommend to read the documentation, because there are certain changes. Some prerequisites are changing. Sometimes the SIF PowerShell module change by just 0.1, and if you don't read the documentation, you may get some issues, and then you have to deal with issues and Google and try to find out harder way. But if you go over the documentation, spend a little bit of time, it will be much easier, much smoother to actually install any Sitecore module or instance. Okay, so what else? One thing that I want, while this is downloading, I want to mention that there are different packages for different instances. So you have only package for 9.1 and 9.2. Also, there are two different packages as well for same Sitecore instance. One, CD server. I don't know the exact difference, but for content delivery, you have to install this. So I'm going to pause for a minute, and then I will come back after the installation is complete. Hi guys, it took a while to come back, but unfortunately I received a strange error, and I will show you the error, and I will show how I solved this error. So when I try to install the module or the package, it took a little longer than expected, and suddenly it threw an error, like a long, ugly error. And this error was inside the installation message box. So I thought there was something wrong with this installation initially, and it says like Sitecore JavaScript app services could not load. So that was an issue. Okay, so how I solved: first I refreshed the page, but now the error happened on the page, so I could not access the login page. Then I verified the services. The services were running without a problem. Updated services were running. I checked the websites. The website was fine. So I reset the IIS. So and refresh the page, but the issue was still there. So then I went to log files inside Habitat Devlog, and I noticed that I don't want to go to log files right now. It's changed probably. I noticed that SXA was downloaded successfully. So I compared this with this is my habitat version. I compared the log files with the dev local instance where I didn't have any issues at all. So SXA was installed, but somehow it could not find this DLL. I checked the vanilla installation of Sitecore 9.2 where I installed SXA DLL, and it's not there as well. But it looks like Habitat as reference somewhere, and somehow SXA broke something or made some updates, override something that I don't know, something happened. Honestly, I don't know exactly what's happened, but I managed to solve. So the site doesn't start and it throws an error. Okay, so first of all, I copied this DLL name and searched for the issue, and I couldn't find. I did create a ticket. That's my Sitecore Stack Exchange. And then I went to solution and I searched in the NuGet solution manager, or NuGet, what was the name of this tool? Manage NuGet package for solution. So NuGet package manager. And I did install this on only the dependency project. Actually, it was the other one. Let's see. So the first issue was this one. Okay, if you check, I did install on dependency. And why? Because that's the error. The error was telling me that the dependency injection code server has some issues. Okay, then I did search this online, and it didn't work because this error says could not load file or assembly, and if you scroll, or it's or one of its dependencies. So then I did find this under the Sitecore NuGet gallery. Here, packages. Okay, and you can install the package like this with NuGet control panel, and these are the dependencies. So I went back and searched individually. I'm not sure how to, maybe there is a way to install just one line of code that will also install dependencies, but I didn't really have time. I didn't really want to spend time to investigate this, so I did it manually. So at the end, I did download, install all this DLLs that were missing. So this was having a different version of dependencies, and I think this view engine had also few dependencies. So total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So after I installed this, I did each time, not each time, but after the DLL installation, I went to Task Runner and build, and then verified the page, and the page was working. So it was a good experience and it was a good choice that I work with Habitat, because normally Habitat also it's built on 9.2 and uses helix structure, and SXA also uses helix structure. So I shouldn't I shouldn't have any errors. One thing that I want to mention that when I come back, Unicorn was installing, and I was be able to log into Sitecore. There's still one error, not this one, sorry. So I'm going to solve this later, but this doesn't stop us to verify SXA. So there is one unicorn serialization or deserialization error during this build. So that was our second step. So SXA module was installed. And how can we verify? The simplest one is the way to verify is come here, right click, insert. You can see two folders, tenants and tenant folder, and these are the SXA folders. So the next step was, let me go back to our documentation. Next step is actually to set up the solar. Actually, it's here. So create solar SXA course. So it says duplicate core directory, and it's very simple. So let's go to our interesting. They used older version as an example, but it's the same thing. So let's go to solar habitat 7.5 server solar, and it says copy the habitat master, paste, and let's copy this web, paste. Okay, then we have to rename this duplicate. So we have to rename as Sitecore SXA master index. So let's go back here, Sitecore, rename SXA underscore master index. And rename habitat SXA web index. They say Sitecore, but I have already used the prefix as habitat, so that's why I'm using as habitat SXA web index or habitat SXA master index. But there is one more step that I have to make, otherwise it will not work. So let's go inside the folder and delete. Let's make sure. You can see data and core properties. So you delete this. Okay, and let's do this for this one too, for the web. Okay, so we have to add the course to the solar through the solar admin. So let's rename this. Actually, copy, go to the solar admin core, add core, and you don't need this fields. Add it here. Go back, copy the other name, web, rename, copy, add core, add. And let's go back to documentation. So we did add it. Okay. Now, so since we didn't use the default names, we have to make an update in the Sitecore XA Foundation Search Solar config file, and this is located under www.root habitat app config. This is a new folder that is created when SXA was downloaded. You got modules, SXA, and foundation over no, not foundation overrides. Yeah, Z foundation overrides, and let's specify. Okay, so as you can see, it's using Sitecore SXA master index. So we have to change this to habitat SXA master index and search for the web. That's the second index. Rename it. And you didn't have to do it if you would use the default, but I wanted that all my indexes start with the same prefix. Let's go back to documentation. So we did update this. We have to generate a schema. So let's go back, make sure that it's saved. It's not. Why it's not saving? Interesting. Okay, because it's not admin, right? Now it's saved. Okay, otherwise we were going to get issues, so you have to be careful. So let's go back to control panel. First, we have to actually create the schema for these two new cores. Control panel, populate solar manage schema, and we should see our new added unselect all. Habitat SXA master index, habitat SXA web index. Populate, close. Index manager. We don't need to build all of them, but we need to build the new indexes. It's done. Let's see what else we need to do. Populate. We did this. And that's it. We're done. I will probably publish site. Let's do smart publish so it will not take too long. And I want to verify and create one site, and we will be done. So that was a good practice for me, because if I would do this and demonstrate on vanilla 9-point installation, I wouldn't get any issues. I did receive an issue, and I did solve it by reading the error message and installing the missing missing DLLs. There is one more thing that I want to verify. So let's go back, and it should be done, hopefully. It still takes some time. Oh, this is my Stack Exchange, and I post here some questions. And if you guys have any account, please upvote my questions. I'll be appreciated, and I hope you will enjoy my video. Actually, I hope you enjoyed this video. So I'm going to pause, and then I will come back when it's done. I want to show one more thing, and then I will be done. Okay, the publishing is done. So I want to actually show one very simple example. Actually, let's try again. This video is not about how to use it, so we can create a tenant folder, and from this tenant folder we can create a tenant, and you can make selections. If you make selections, this will be available. um, Actually, let's create. I want to just demonstrate how quick you can create a site, and then we will be done. So basically, it looks like it takes. Yeah. So after we have a tenant, we can right click and we can create a site. And we need to make only a few configuration changes, and the site will be ready. And when you publish, it will be ready. Site name, test, site, host name, test. I'm not sure on this one, but I think like test.com. English modules. I select all the modules, but if you unselect, you can add later. Um, create a new team, and it's good practice to create a new team. And our site is test site team, and we want to have a wireframe, a bootstrap 4. Okay, and this will create a site for us. Anyways, I think that's enough. And as an example, this is an example that I did created, and the subject of this video, or the content, is not about how to create a site, but it takes only 5-10 minutes to start a site with a nice theme, responsive bootstrap 4. And it will be done in a few minutes. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, please subscribe, please share, and please like my video. And one more thing that I want to mention is that I will continue to record videos, mostly probably about commerce and Azure deployments, and little work with Azure. Take care, bye.